Greetings and welcome to Rauta's Death Metal Reviews. This time we go all the way to exotic Thailand, which is not the most common country to have metal bands to begin with. Then again, there is a metal scene, it's just not so audible and visible to Western countries. This band is a band called Oldskull, and this is the debut album called Nether Hollow of No Return. Now, I got the digital promo copy of this one a few weeks before getting my hands on this, CD on my hands. That is, can't even speak English now. And I was kind of surprised how well this resonated with me, even though basically bringing nothing new to the table. That is, this is very, very much the kind of a basic death metal release you might have been listening to multiple years by now, and it's interesting how much you can really make the music worthwhile listening to, even though you don't necessarily have anything new. And it seems like this inlay is rather stuck here. This one runs some 45 minutes, and this band was founded in 2015, so this has been in the making for a few years now. And that's what is so interesting with this 45 minutes of an album, that while it doesn't really do anything new, I mean, everything here is like going back in time for some 30 years. Now, everything also seems to be very, very likable and relatable, like going to back off the roots of first wave of death metal, or as the saying goes, old school death metal, OSDM. Now, everything on this album is something that you probably heard a million times before, but not necessarily being able to put your finger on it. Now, I was discussing this actually with my friend prior to making this video, and I was just kind of giving him a hint, hey, why don't you check it out? Because this is something that might be to your liking. I mean, this is being advertised as having somewhat similarities with bands like Benediction, Death, Obituary, and so forth. Well, personally, I don't find all these bands here. Like, Death isn't, in my opinion, that much present here, but maybe some parts of Obituary kind of resonates with this one, and there's certain riffs or parts which kind of remind me of older Ball Thrower. Mentioning that older part because not the more melodic type what Ball Thrower was later on known for. But the kind of old school, early 90s kind of a sounding death metal is very much present here. One could say there are kind of trashier parts also, but then again, that is something that happened with so many bands coming from late 80s, early 90s and all that stuff. From Cannibal Corpse to Sepultura and all that stuff. So it's kind of a given that these kind of parts are there when we're talking about actual old school. You know, the real old school, not the what happened in the maybe early or mid-90s. But basically nothing new is happening here, so what could be making this so interesting is that all the songs are quite nice quality. I mean, whether you pick some song randomly, whether you go for some individual riff here and there, you kind of like it all the way, because I mean, it's just, you know, doing the kind of a death metal riffing the way it was, in my opinion, meant to be. That added with some proper growling, not necessarily anything special, but, you know, delivering what is expected them to be. And also the really, really nice and strong guitar sound, which is there like, okay, boom, and you're like, okay, this is death metal right away. Now, the drummer is also one of those parts which is easy to forget. And because here nothing really interesting happens, it's just one of those elements that, you know, is doing well enough for the album. I mean, there are albums which kind of suffer because of bad drumming, and then there are albums which totally shine because tremendous drumming. This one falls in between. Nothing is especially special in any of those areas, but then again, it delivers all the necessary ingredients. So it's like a good hamburger. You don't maybe get anything new out of it, but it's totally satisfying you when you just need the goddamn hamburger with all the ingredients right there. So my point here is, Oldskull is doing the kind of a death metal which you probably ended up liking in the past. Nothing new, but then again, nothing is too much recycled. More like enhanced version of what was going on back in the early days. Check out Oldskull, and I hope you like it. For me, it's gonna be going in my collection. It's a nice one. So go check it out. Thanks for watching. Take care.